You know, it's really interesting. Pete Hegseth went into the spin room. The spin starts here. But I wanted to see how Frank Luntz did a focus group, because of all of the debates, I mean, this was do or die for Donald Trump. And I watched how methodically Frank went through everybody's background to make sure that they knew exactly who was in the room. The people who leaned toward Hillary, leaned toward Trump, and the independents as well. And so I watched them watch the entire debate where he said she should be in jail, talked about her husband being essentially a sexual predator, and about the email. And at the end of the 100 minutes, Frank Luntz essentially said he's never seen such a turnaround where people went in with their heads going one way and came out changed. Watch this. Here's Frank.
Every once in a while, there is a debate that has a significant impact, either in the narration of the election or the actual vote itself. And I think this is one of them. Raise your hands. We're here in St. Louis. Raise your hands if you walked in here leaning towards Hillary Clinton. Raise your hands. Okay, there's 8 or 9 of you. Raise your hands if you walked in here leaning towards Donald Trump. Once again, 8 or 9 of you. Tell me, tonight, who was the most impactful candidate? Who says Clinton? Who says Trump? Wow. Explain to me, why Trump?
I mean, there's emails, which is national security, and then there's somebody's potty mouth. And I'm more concerned about the issues about our security than I am about what somebody says that's inappropriate.
Yeah, the integrity, how we can deliver a message, telling the people what they really want to hear, not just BS.
He's into the issues, and he's telling us what we really need to know, I think.
I think he's a businessman, and people do not understand a lot of times that you need businesses incentives to come to this country, so I've never gotten a job from a poor person in my life.
I still feel he skirted the issues. He is still not answering questions directly, but I did feel he was more civil in some ways. His tone was was more polite in a sense.
I'm a teacher, and he sounded like a kid who had remembered 3 things from class and was trying to make his way through the discussion by bringing everything back there. I want someone who's well prepared and has done the reading, because then they can contribute to the discussion.
So what would you grade him as a teacher?
As a teacher? Well, I mean, presentation, he's a showman, so maybe he gets 10% of the grade there, but I'd probably give him about a C.
Yeah, you're a tough grader.
I am.
Thank God he didn't have you. Did America win tonight or lose tonight, based on what you saw? Who thought America won? Raise your hands. So most of you. Second row, why'd you think America won tonight?
Well, I think we finally got closest to hearing what Trump actually believes on some issues. The moderators, I thought, did a good job of pressing him and getting some actual information out of him.
I agree. We found out more how he went about taxes, education, and energy, and everything we need to know about the country.
Go ahead.
I disagree. I felt like he attacked Hillary most of the time and didn't give us any clear answers on what his plan is.
Nick, I got to ask you.
Yes.
You were born where?
I was born in Mexico, and one of the things that moved me still toward Trump, even though most of my people don't, is the fact that the talk has been happening since 1988, and none of my people have gotten that amnesty that everyone talks about.
So what is it about the Latino population that almost 80% are supporting Hillary Clinton?
Well, it's just the talk. Again, she's promising the same thing that everyone has promised, and nothing happens. Trump talks about a wall and stuff like that, but, Congress is ultimately the one that has the word to say.
So let me ask you as a way to close this. Are there anyone here who at this point will not vote for president, that you don't like either candidate? There are a few of you. What is it? What's the problem? Daniel.
I just feel like if we're going to vote for a candidate, if we're going to vote for someone who represents America, we have much better choices. Trump is not a conservative. I'm conservative. I want a conservative president. I want conservative policies. He gets elected, we're not getting a conservative for a while.
Michael, you're still none of the above. Tell me why.
It's funny. I'm kind of a bleeding heart conservative, and I'm not really sure if I found what I'm looking for yet.
This debate was, to me, fascinating because Donald Trump started off so strong, just as he did in the first debate. But he didn't weaken. And there were moments in here where they all thought that he was really outperforming Hillary Clinton. Did it change any minds? Raise your hands if you're walking out of here a Trump voter. Yes, it did. Back to you.
Unbelievable.
And you really couldn't see how many hands there were, but a majority of the people said, after they had been evenly split, a majority said they were thinking about voting for Donald Trump, given that guy who was at the debate stage behind me last night, as opposed to the guy who was at the debate 2 weeks earlier.